So my question really pertains about what all of these conversations seem to have led us back to, and that is why are so many people experiencing dating, relationship, and marriage fatigue? Why are people so tired and frustrated and approaching every aspect of romance through the trauma of their past? And so you said it, other people have said it to me, that we do a lot of conversation about the problem and not enough conversation about the solution. Now, you definitely have to understand the problem to get to the solution. So there is some value in conversation about the problem. But I want us to limit the conversation about the problem and the dating and the relationship and the marriage fatigue and talk about some solutions. But I'm seeing women who are saying, hey, I'd rather just be single, right? I'm seeing men, you know, or choosing a different path. Ezekiel's over there saying, hey, I sacrificed so much for this amount of time. When does it get to be about me? And that's valid. But if the motivation is the things that we didn't like in the past that's dictating all the decisions that we make about the future, I'm here to suggest that that may be misguided. I'm here to suggest that that may be the very obstacle that's holding people back from having the romantic experience that they want. And so my first solution, and it may sound cliche, but if you're walking around carrying the pain from the past, and how do you know that you're walking around carrying the pain from the past? Every time somebody lets you talk, that's what you're talking about. Right? If you talk about it, you're thinking about it, right? And if you're thinking about it that much, then that is making all the decisions for you. Your trauma is making all decisions. The dating pool is not full of pee, it's full of sharks. If you jump in the water bleeding, guess what you're going to attract? Yeah, sharks smell blood, and they come to bite on you, right? And so we date, and we think we're learning about the opposite sex, or the other person, or the dating pool. But really, the purpose of the dating is for you to learn about yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. And so, I said this earlier, I say it again. Nothing will expose how unhealed you are more than a healed circumstance or a healed situation or some healed energy, right? And in that moment, right, you are exposed.
Absolutely.
You can choose to break the mirror, break the camera, run away from that, which I don't believe everybody who's saying they want to be single is doing that. But certainly some of the people who are decided that they want to be single is because they have decided they aren't going to adjust to get the results that they want, right? So it can grow you or it can expose you when that happens. The healthy situation will expose you. You can decide to grow in that moment. Hey, damn, I'm not here. I'm thinking about Bob or Betty and what she did, and I'm here with Anton or Susan. Right. You have to be able to create a blank canvas for you to even have a chance to have a healthy romantic experience. So solution one is you got to get over.
Yeah.
That's right.
It speaks some real talk.
My son's mother, I fought in court to see my son for 5 years. But I don't feel no way about it today. I appreciate that every part of that journey, every part of that experience was the path to enlightenment. The path to making me a better man, the path to making me a better father, the path to making me a source of mentorship for any other man who might have struggled to be able to see their child. Because I went through every aspect.
Were you all ever a couple?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Years. It's crazy how that goes, right?
I mean,
And so,
do we even say it like
yeah,
the
so
child's
the
mother?
second thing I was going to say as a solution after the healing is dating with intention. A lot of people think dating is intention is dating to get married. No, dating with intention is the intention to for real get to know the person you're dating and for real create a path and access to you for them to get to know you instead of projecting what you're expecting. Because most people spend their time projecting what they're expecting. You know, we don't even ask open-ended questions. You trying to get married? What? Because I'm dating with intention.
Right.
I'm trying to get married, right? You're not asking that man what's missing from his life and what's important. An open-ended question where he could say money, or he could say a job, or he could say a car, or he could say a house, or he could
And
say.
be safe with saying
the right one.
Yes.
Right.
Right, but you didn't give him an open. You didn't give him an open-ended question. You said you trying to get married and what? And so if he desires some aspect of you, or if she desires some aspect of you, because it goes the other way too.
I was just about to say
Right,
that.
I was guilty of that too. Right, women go pretend to go along with whatever it is that I say that I want because they wanted to be with me.
Right.
So you have to learn how to date with a different type of intention. Not to make a person into what you want them to be, but to find out who they really are. And when you're able to do that, you will escape a lot of disappointment and a lot of heartbreak.
How long do you think it would take to really find out? How long do you think it took for you to find out who your partner really was for you?
We're never done getting to know each other, but enough to get
Yes.
enough to make a real decision. Honestly, a lot of people like to project this, oh, man, no, in 30 days, you know, in 90 days. My grandmother said you need to, at the very least, see a person all seasons.
I
You need to see them in, you need to see them in spring, summer, fall, and winter. If you haven't experienced them when they're angry, you don't know them.
Yep.
If you haven't experienced them when they're not getting what they want, you don't know them. If you haven't experienced them when everything in life is not going how they plan,
Surprise.
you don't know what and who you are dealing with.
I agree.
That the best fakers
That's what grandmother.
can fake it for a nice period of time.
You gotta say without makeup and without no wig. Go ahead.
All those things. Go ahead, O.
I think part of the reason why people are so disenfranchised is because they don't take responsibility for their actions and their emotions.
And
So
results.
whatever you are, if you are angry, you have decided it's okay for you to be angry. But we look at it as if somebody did that to us. You choose
To be angry.
which you sit in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you choose to be with people who are toxic. There's obviously something in you
Yeah.
that is saying to you that you believe you deserve whatever treatment
That they give.
that they are giving you.
Absolutely.
And so I think once, to add to what you were saying, once people realize that they are the captain of everything that they are doing, then they can actually make different decisions, better decisions for themselves, because a lot of time it really just boils down to the decision you made and the person. So whenever, like, I've been in relationships that have not worked, and I am never ever upset about the person or what they did.
Right.
The only thing I do, I go to the point where I feel like I could have made a different decision,
Yeah.
and then I look at that, I try to grow from that, and I leave it alone. Because once you start to put whatever you've done on somebody else, you can never be good.
Yeah.
Because you can never control what somebody else did. You can never cure yourself of what somebody else did. So I just
know
look
when that
at,
point was, what you said is, when I think we all thought about it, like, I probably should have got out of that one in fall.
Yep.
I shouldn't have made it till, they shouldn't have made
Yeah.
it till winter. So I think what you
Yeah.
said
You have
there
to
is
be
to
accountable for
learn
your
from that, from that
decisions.
last one, like what that decision was.
I think we always focus on we should have got the point where we think we should have got out of it.
Yeah.
And not at the point where we could have made a healthier decision and the whole trajectory of this may have gone a different direction.
So
No, we're talking about once it doesn't work.
Right. Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. So no.
I'm
We're talking about the whole
Yeah.
spectrum, and we want to focus. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we want to focus, and I'm not saying that Okir was saying that, but sometimes we choose to focus on the point where we should have got out of there, not at the point where we could have contributed to it.
right,
I-
so
I-
I just,
Yeah, I don't
I just,
The middle
necessarily.
part of that
Agree
is,
with that
let me just
100%.
say, but I think the middle part, to say the exact opposite is, I think when we get out of relationships, we have seen that. Then we also can look at the same scenario and say, that's the part I should have gone harder. right? That's the part.
So
I
being
like-
accountable for your
For my own-
decisions
my own
Right.
makes you look at, okay, maybe I should have made a
Right,
different
right.
decision
Because
here.
I've
But
been
not that you should have did something different to make it continue, because maybe you realize that this is not something that you want to continue.
Well, no.
So I'll say this. I'll
Go
say
ahead.
this. I've been in a relationship where there were 2 points for me. There was a point where I looked at it and I was like, okay, she was needing a certain thing that I did not provide, and at the time I should have noticed that and I should have provided that. Now, after even looking at that, I still came to the conclusion, based on other things, that it probably would not have worked out. So there were 2 instances in the same relationship. And I said, well, because of the ultimately what it was, that the reason it wouldn't work out is she had a problem telling the truth. All
Oh,
right.
that's a big one.
So
I lie.
early on
I lie.
in the relationship, I noticed that, but I thought it was exaggeration, or I looked at it as if it was exaggeration, and so I thought to my, when looking back on things, that was probably the time when you should realize, no, she was just lying. So right. So
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. Oh, but most people have practiced being in unhealthy relationships more than they have practiced in being in a healthy relationship, right? And so when a healthy situation presents itself to you, you about to be hella uncomfortable. It's gonna be to some degree ripping you apart. All your demons, all your trauma has a whole lot of conversation for you about what you should and shouldn't be doing when a healthy situation presents itself.
You just said you're in the healthiest relationship you've ever been in.
Absolutely.
You said that to us last time.
Absolutely.
And that at 50,
Which-
that's great. And you've made children with people, been in relationships with people, been in other things, and that is a major statement to say, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Prior to going into that relationship, though, I understood that being in a healthy relationship was going to be the hardest thing I've ever
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be the most funnest thing, only the most fun thing I've ever done, or only the most
gotta do
honeymoon,
Yeah.
enjoyable thing I've ever done. I knew that I was going to have to be the very best version of myself that I've ever been to have the healthiest version of this relationship that we could possibly have. And so I'm not compromising when I adjust. I'm not compromising when I improve.
Not at
Because
all.
I have a desire for myself and a standard for myself about the type of healthy partner I want to be and the type of healthy husband that I want to be. But I want to share that, we again, this focus on the dating pool and the opposite sex, we are so obsessed that we really struggle to learn from our situations. And dating is about failing forward. You're not supposed to meet your person, the first person you ever meet. How do you ever develop the tools? How do you learn anything? But unfortunately, we spend so much time learning about the other person and what we didn't like in the other person that we don't see the results that we're getting romantically as feedback for how we are and who we are
There it is, right
and what
there.
we accept and what we choose and what we embrace. We're not accepting that as the feedback about us. We think it's the feedback about the dating pool.
So
We
the
think it's the
question,
feedback. Go ahead.
Can we be friends with everybody we've ever dated?
I am.
There's no
Except for
absolute.
the stalkers.
You don't have to be.
Yeah, there's
no,
no.
I'm saying though.
Yes, I am.
There's no absolute.
Do we measure that as? No, I'm saying, do we measure that as a way that I can be friends with everybody I've dated? Like I've
I
got
am.
one person I think that.
Friends
Except for the
like
stalkers,
friends in what way?
Yeah, I don't know what that communicates about your ability to be a healthy partner.
Why put energy into thinking about it?
No,
Right,
I'm asking
right,
because I'm
right.
saying anytime you meet people who are always talking about their ex and there's nothing good to say about
Right.
them,
Oh,
that's
that's
your
a whole other
decision.
story.
That means that you've always chosen bad people.
Yeah,
Why
but
are you
but
choosing-
if you're friends with every ex you had,
Except
but
for
you
stalkers.
can't be a partner with a romantic person,
Right.
you just a good friend, but you a bad partner, you a bad date, you a
That was
bad
my brother-in-law.
something along
Best
those.
brother-in-law
Well, that depends
ever.
on who ended the
Those
relationship
lines.
too.
No.
If you can't attract what you want, whose fault is it if you don't make it in business?
Mine.
Whose fault if you don't get the master's degree once you start the master's degree program?
Right.
Mine.
Everything in life is our responsibility, except for this
So
one
you
thing.
chose wrong. You
Except
chose
for this
wrong.
one thing.
No.
you chose wrong.
No, if you drop out of school, it don't mean
No,
you chose the wrong
cannot
school.
make in every relationship. Every time you meet a man or a woman, they are not meant to be your forever.
Certainly
We go
not.
through this life, and
Certainly
we
not.
learn lessons along the way. We learn lessons along the way. Everybody is not your forever.
Right. And if the only lesson you learned is that everybody is not your forever, then you really didn't learn the lesson.
You
should
did
learn that.
the lesson.
No.
That
You
is
learned
the
one lesson. No, it's
because
not the
that's
lesson.
what life is about.
So
Life
what's
is
the
about
lesson
learning
is?
and
It's
growing.
not recognizing
Life is not
that that's
about
not-
The
oh, I'm
lesson
with this
is
person
it's-
forever.
the lesson. No one said you should
Great
stay.
person, we just aren't together.
No one
Right.
said you should stay. But if all you're learning is that the other person ain't the right
What should
person
be
for
learning?
you,
That was the question.
You need
Right,
to
you need to be
learn
learning
what
how to
is not
attract-
right for
you
you,
need
so
to-
that you can learn what is right for you.
Yeah.
Time out.
Again, people spend all their time learning about the red flags, talking
You
about the
still
red
said
flags.
what-
You
what-
still
hold on,
learn.
hold
You
on.
learn about
Hey,
the green
hey,
flags
Gina,
too.
let me teach you something.
Yes.
Red boots and red earrings, red flag.
Absolutely.
You ain't let me finish.
And
You ain't let me
feather.
finish one statement, but you saying I'm not
And
answering
feather.
your question.
And feather.
See, so listening is a part of being a good date and a good partner as well. Being
Absolutely.
able to listen to hear and not just listen to respond. So while the person is trying to explain to you, you talking, you didn't want no answer.
And that's exactly what you do.
You wanted the opportunity, huh?
You've done it all afternoon.
God bless. I'm guilty of it too.
You know it.
But you're doing it now.
So in
You're
an
asking me a
attempt-
question
in an
and you're
attempt
trying to answer the question.
To try to shame someone, which
Shame you?
Never,
No, I just
never
brought you to
the
your
case.
attention.
Well,
Feedback.
Never is the case.
Can I answer the question?
You can,
I want
oh.
him to answer.
You can, oh.
Okay.
See, he
sure.
passed it off to
Because
you.
this is
Still
what
ain't
I-
No,
gonna
this
Tell
what you do.
Tell me
It's
if I'm
on tape.
interpreting.
Still ain't gonna answer.
Tell me if I'm interpreting what you're saying wrong. He's saying if you go through life and you can tell everybody else's red flags,
But they did wrong.
what they did wrong, but you don't notice what your red flags are. And so a lot of people, they get to the point where they're 40, they're 50 or whatever, and they can sit there and they can say, oh, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, this is a red flag. But their
None of
relationship,
those are yours.
right, but the relationships is not working, right? And it could be because they haven't fixed their own red flags. So while you're doing that, while you can tell everybody what their red flags is, somebody is looking at you and like, your red flag is this, your red flag is that, your red flag is this, and you don't even notice that. You don't notice what
people
yours
like that.
is, so therefore, people are rejecting you as well.
So on top of that, everything he said is 100% true. Your red flags are what's attracting the people with the red flags that you paying attention to, that you notice so much about. The red flags that you're ignoring in yourself is why you keep having the same experience over and over again.
Absolutely.
You keep jumping in the ocean,
But
believe
you know what?
and sharks keep coming to biting you, and you like those goddamn sharks.
And you got to.
For people
Those
who-
goddamn sharks
Yeah.
keep biting me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're
They
food.
If you
arguing.
keep having
No, I'm not-
those-
no one's
Okay, let
arguing.
me ask you something though. So one of the things that I was told when I was in class to be certified as a life coach,
Oh, that's right. you
because
are
we
certified.
are healers, we will attract the unhealed.
Absolutely.
That happens.
If you're attractive, you attract everything.
So, well, I mean, I'm not talking about just being attractive. Yeah, right. If you're attractive, you do attract everything. But specifically, we will attract the unhealed because we are healers.
But
So
if,
I do see other people's red flags, but I see my own red flags. You know, that Leo in me, I know that. I know
Ooh, you
who
a
I
Leo
am.
woman?
I know.
Well, I
who
can tell you a
am.
whole lot about
I
that.
absolutely know who I am, and it's all good. And so I bring that to
See,
the
we look-
relationship, but I also am old enough. So I'm on the cusp. I got the Virgo too, but I'm also
oh man.
old enough. I'm not all man at all.
No, I didn't say
Old
all
man.
man. I said
Old
old man,
man.
like the rabbit hole. Ain't nobody calling
And the
me
further,
no man.
the further down you are,
Hey,
the more.
perception is a motherfucker, right?
Right.
Them glasses.
So what
boy.
I'm saying is that we all need to understand what are not necessarily. They don't have to be red flags. We need to understand what could be issues for other people, and we need to learn how to use those as positives. So I know my personality, but when I have a man, not if, because I definitely, anyway, when I have a man, you use your characteristics to benefit the relationship or feed into that other person. So I'm gonna always help my guy because I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm always gonna help him reach whatever the next level is that he's trying to get to. Whatever I can do, I'm 100% in there. You know, that's when you use your what some people would consider a red flag if they're intimidated by it. But you use it for their benefit if you're in a relationship with it. So it's not about seeing everybody else's red flags, though I see everybody else's red flags. You know, when people are, here's the thing, in this day and age right now, there's so many people that are desperate for just relationships in general. They're desperate for relationships, and they don't even want to get to know you. They just want a relationship. And unfortunately, I associate that with that dating for intention, with intention, whatever. When a guy comes to me and says, I'm dating with intention, I'm like, well, what's your intention? I want to be in a relationship. Oh, yeah? Because my dad, I grew up with a father. My parents were married. I grew up with a father. My dad told me that when you don't walk around life wanting to be in a relationship, you meet a person, and that person makes you want a relationship with them. So that's how I operate, period. So when I, you know, everybody talking about, oh, I'm modern, whatever, you know. So
It was just me.
when I meet someone and they check all my boxes and they make me feel a certain way and that chemistry is there, then I want to be in a relationship with him. But until I get to know you and know all of those things and know where the hell you trying to lead me, because I ain't following just anybody. I don't want to be in a relationship that bad. I'm not desperate for no relationship. My life is great. I'm doing what I love. I have a passion for everything that I do. I feel fulfilled. So now you got to bring some extra stuff. And it's not money. It ain't money. I'm not looking at your money.
Yeah, $2.50.
You know? I'm not looking at your money. Now you got to be able to take care
I
of
mean, you have
yourself.
to at least have your.
You got to have your own stuff. You got to be where I am, whatever, right? But I'm not, it's not about the money. Like a lot of men, the last dude I dated, he said, most women just want providers. So if the man can provide for her, then she's all good. She's ready to go. I'm like, well, I ain't ready to go. I need to know you. I want to know how you going to treat me. You know, I want to know how I feel when I'm with you. I want to know if you're going to be respectful. I want to know if you're going to do the thing. Get to know me. I want to get to know you. But he just wants to pay bills.
So why do you think that God or the universe hasn't delivered him to you yet?
Maybe I need to deal with some other people before he delivers them to me.
That's all I'm saying. And the reason why, and I think this applies to anybody, man, woman, or whatever. We gotta grow. We have a little bit more growth to do to be ready for
Or
the
we need to
situation.
help other people.
We have to be okay.
Sometimes you're single because your mission is bigger than just you. Because you need to be single and you can't have, so a relationship, okay, you can shake your head, but let me tell you this. A relationship requires time. So if I am here to help somebody else, I need that time to help somebody else. I don't need that time to be in a relationship and I'm catering to one person. What I do right now, what I do in my professional side, this is my professional side too, because I own this business. But what I do in my professional side is help other businesses grow. And the amount of time that I spend doing that, I don't even really know how I would have a relationship, honestly. But I would like to have one. And so what I encounter, because I help people heal based on my training, what I encounter is people who actually need a little help so that they can go and become. Is it 6 o'clock? So they can go and do what they supposed to.
Did you hear the duality in what you said?
Yeah.
What was the duality?
You missed it?
Yep, I missed it.
See?
She was talking.
So important.
Just talking.
It's
I
so
love
important.
it. Y'all are so quick. I love
And I call it duality. I'm gonna let,
I love this
go ahead.
trauma bond.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like we've been experiencing that all
Trauma
day.
bond.
Yeah, we've experienced
We've been
duality.
this all day. Trauma bond.
Trauma
Yeah,
bond.
I do somewhat agree with both of you guys, you know what I'm saying, because it's like if you in kind of like conflict with yourself, and sometimes I be in conflict with myself, you're gonna attract conflict people, right? You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn about myself. Yeah, I do want a relationship, but do I really? Like, I really have to have a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I'm not willing to put in the effort. I'm doing business. I don't want to be
And
bothered.
the universe hearing it all.
Yeah, I don't want to be bothered.
Universe hearing that
Like this.
download.
Like this.
Right, so I had to take accountability and be like, not that I'm a bad person. My red flag wasn't like, oh, I'm just a bad person. It's my thought process of the conflict with the universe. Because I'm saying one thing that I do want to be in a relationship, but my actions don't
I
show
never said
that.
I wanted
Because
to.
I would cut a Negro
No, I
off in
never
a
said I
minute.
wanted to.
And I'm not
So I don't believe in
tolerating
walking through like talking about I want a relationship.
But that's what I'm saying. Either
I don't-
you
I
want
never
one
said that.
or you're not. What I'm saying is, and I have to tell
I
my
never said
cousin,
it.
either you want it or you don't.
I
So
never
for-
said I did.
What did you say about relationships?
I think she's talking
Wait,
about
no.
herself.
Let's be clear.
Yeah,
Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
Let-
I
did you
said,
Wait a minute, I'm talking about my. Listen, I'm not
He
talking
was
about
at-
you
okay, go
per
ahead.
se. I'm talking about myself and other women. I'm focused on me. We'll say that we want a relationship, and I know everybody know that I've complained. I had to really take a step back and really analyze myself. Not that I'm a bad person, it's that I am not willing to put in the effort. I'm just not willing. I have filled voids with business, with traveling, whatever I wanted to fill voids with. So when I enter into a relationship with somebody, I'm like, do I really want to do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I attract people who didn't really want to do this. Right?
I attract people who
and
want to
so
do
for
it.
me, right, that's what for me it's just like, well, I really don't want to do it either, so I'm good. I can go back to being single. But I made the decision that I have to put an effort in mentally in order to really desire to do this, whether it works out or not, because I didn't want to get my feelings hurt. So I'm just saying to women who may struggle with dating, it's not that you're a bad person, that you deserve it. It's just that if you really have replaced a lot of things in your life with other things as a defensive mechanism, because I got degrees in businesses, right? But I also had to assess that filled voids for me.
Yes.
Because I wasn't receiving like the love that I desire. So
Yeah.
that filled voids for me. Not that I shouldn't go after it, but sometimes you replace it with things because you don't have what you desire, and then you really get in this mode. Well, I'm not used to having it, so I can go do this that's gonna fulfill for me. And I tell women that all of the time, like, degrees don't keep you warm at night. When my father died, degree didn't keep me warm at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? I cried about my father, and I cried about not having somebody there to comfort me.
Right.
So it was a whole, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that we as women, if we really strongly desire, and this is for me, whether you get hurt or not or disappointed, you just got to pick yourself up and say, okay, what did I learn from this situation?
Right,
How did this help me grow? So now I'm more willing to date, and if this situation doesn't work out, yeah, I'm aggravated, but you know what? I kind of learned about, like, I don't cook, but I'll cook for this Negro.
Right.
I'm saying, like, oh, I didn't know that I would cook for a person. Like, I didn't know, like, if I hold a hand with a person. So that I'm speaking for me. So all I'm saying to you that if you don't want one, then you don't want one.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
good.
So,
But if you do want one,
let me
then
make
you
this
got to stand
clear.
on that and say, I do want one, and here are my standards. But then you have to actively say, okay, I do want one, because if men are coming to you
It
and they
is-
want one, then I mean,
It's not that
you know?
it's not that cut and dry. And so I'm gonna turn and look to you because you are over here co-signing
point.
on some
I got
stuff all the time.
I got good credit.
Okay, so I got good credit too. Okay, so yeah, I don't co-sign on nobody's stuff though. But anyway,
That's
so
something to be proud of.
my father was a very important person. He was like my best friend growing up. I'm an only child, and so he was like my best friend growing up. So one of the things that I know is that every man that come into your life does not have to be your man. And as I said earlier, my father told me that you don't go through life looking for a relationship. So I don't go through life looking for a freaking relationship. There is a man that will come into my life and he will make me want a relationship with him. And until
That's what she just said.
no, I'm not saying that I don't want it. I said I'm not looking for one until that man comes along.
But you had to say, I want one.
No. I don't have to say I want one, because when it's time for me, when it is time for me to be in a relationship, the universe will align that man to come into my life. And until then, the men that come into my life are a learning experience. Okay? It like you said, there's relationships that teach you stuff or whatever. So there could be some that I do need to learn, right? But I'm not walking through life talking about, oh, I want a relationship so bad. If he come along, I'm just going to be with anybody that come along because I want a man. No, I don't want a man. I don't want a man.
Why does it
I
have,
want
why does it
the
have to
right
be
man.
the opposite extreme, though? Why does it
Because
have to be?
because that's where they take it.
I ain't
Because that's where they take it.
been on the
It's like the
mic before
extreme.
either. I ain't been on the mic
it's like, oh, you don't want no relationship. You ain't ready for no relationship. I'm ready for a relationship. For the right man that come into my life, then he would. And you know what? I don't know if we go, because it's gonna be 6 o'clock soon, because we done went over on everything. But that was what my whole point was gonna be in my topic, because there are different men that come into your life. There are men that you just meet. So I'm in hospitality. I meet a lot of people all the time, right? I'm in hospitality. I do events, and so I meet a lot of people all the time. There are men that you meet, right? And no, I'm not gonna be submissive to them, or even make them think that I'm submissive, because I just met you. I don't know you, right? And then there are men. So some of us are business owners, or some of us are in management. There's men that work for us, right? So I'm definitely not submissive to them, because I'm in a manager position. I'm in a position of control, right? So you're not going to be submissive to them either. Then there are men that you are attracted to. You give them a different side of you because you attracted to them. So they might get a little bit more of that, oh, I can be this, you know. Then there are the men that you attracted to, but they ain't what you looking for. So then you are like, yeah, okay, well, no, I'm not gonna give you that. But then there are men that you are in a relationship with, and those men get a whole different side of you as well. So there's different kind of men that get different sides of you. So when I'm on this show talking about relationships, I'm specifically talking to women who are looking for a man. First, I'm telling them not to look. That's the first thing I'm telling y'all, not to look. When that man come into your life and he is the one, then you want a relationship with him. But you ain't out there just trying to fit any man into that spot. I don't care what nobody tell you. My daddy said.
You still gotta look though, a little bit. Like, you gotta
I ain't looking for a damn
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They show up everywhere. I do events. I'm at networking events. I'm at all kinds of events. I ain't looking for a damn thing.
Well,
They say
You're open to it.
I'm open.
yeah. What's wrong?
I'm open.
Right.
I'm open. I'm
Right, but
always
what's
open.
wrong?
If he show up and say,
Hey, people gotta be okay with other people doing it differently than we do it. Everybody not gonna do it
Oh, so wait.
everything exactly like how we do.
But
So-
what I just want to tell, what my point on this show is always telling women, you know, don't accept just anything so you can say that you got a man. And there's so many women out here that are doing that, and they getting, well, you know, they go into the jails and stuff and waiting on them to get released and stuff. And you know, that one chick, I know we all saw it on social media, where the chick got killed because she went and married this dude in jail, and then she wound up, he was a murderer. He killed some people, so he killed her too. I mean, you know, you can't just go in looking for stuff and accepting anything. When you meet the right man, meet the right man, then you embark upon a relationship with him. But don't just go around looking for stuff. What you need to do is create the life you desire to live, so that if you got somebody or not, you are still happy. Now, okay, sex, well, you know, whatever. If you want to have a friend with benefits, get you a friend with benefits on the side. You know, if sex is that big of a deal to you. But
he's saying it shouldn't take this long. He's saying that
you don't have no control over the time.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't have control.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so why you not married?
So, because I needed to heal. Because I have
No,
those-
you not married because it ain't your time.
No.
It ain't your time.
No.
It ain't your time.
No.
It's time.
It's not your time.
can
Because if
two-
it was your time, the universe would have aligned that for you.
Can two things be true at the same time?
It's your
Can
time.
two things be true at the same
It's just
time?
not your
Could it be
time.
that you're working on yourself, which is true, and could it also be true it's not time? Two things can be true at the same time.
It's just not
It don't
your
have to
time.
be
It
either
can
or.
be because it's not her time because she's working on herself. How about that?
Yeah,
like-
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Or there is another purpose on her life. So the thing about it is, a lot of people don't understand that you have a purpose on your life. There's a purpose on your life. And sometimes being in a relationship is not the purpose that's on your life at that time.
Tomorrow.
At that time, and tomorrow it could be something different, but right now, that might not be the purpose on your life. You may have something else that you need to do besides catering to your man.
I done did it all. It's my
If
time.
you can run for president and have time for a relationship, you can do anything and have time for a relationship.
It will be, but right now it's not.
Speaking of time,
And you should be okay with that.
Y'all
If you date
stop.
somebody, maybe it's your time.
Y'all is live.
Right.
That was
Because
fun.
I don't know your personal stuff, but if you date somebody, maybe it's your time. But I'm just saying, for those women, you should not be discouraged because you don't have a man in your life at this time. Don't let anybody tell you that because you don't have a man in your life that you are less than. That does not make you less than because there's no man in your life at the moment.